So my name is Greg Fernandez. I'm a full-time special needs teacher in Brooklyn, and on the weekends I moonlight as a street photographer. I'm half Spanish, half Ukrainian ethnically, but I'm definitely 100% American. So that being said, yeah, I grew up in the beautiful land of New Jersey, and then I went to college in Philadelphia at Temple University, where I studied film and media arts. So that kind of explains a lot of my background, why I'm familiar with photography and editing and all that kind of stuff. Probably the most interesting thing about my childhood is I'm a middle child, and I have a younger sister who was diagnosed with autism at birth. So she has a very small vocabulary, not more than 15 words. And so that has definitely developed my character in terms of like how I behave and how I treat other people. I'm a special needs teacher, so I'm working with a population that can't even communicate. They can't even speak English. A lot of them use devices on iPads. And so I've been doing that for a few years now. It's very rewarding, very tough work. It requires a lot of patience. It's funny because working in the film industry previously, I feel like when you work with certain actors and actresses, I feel like the field I'm in now can sometimes be easier. So yeah, Monday through Friday I'm teaching, and then on the weekends there have been these rallies ever since the invasion. And as someone who has the weekends off, I can usually find time to offer some help by doing this photography stuff down in Times Square. Some people at my job know that I do photography on the weekend, some people don't. There's accounts on Instagram, like the official account of Ukraine, that are reposting me while I'm at work, teaching someone colors. So in a way, it's almost like a double life. With this whole war happening, it's giving me a chance to almost learn a little bit about ethnically where I came from. So when the invasion happened, I remember there was a rally the day of, and when I saw photos from it, I realized like I could take better photos than this. I used to do a lot of street photography in New York, especially a lot of 35mm photography. Now shooting these rallies have definitely defined my photography, and in a way almost myself, which is something I've accepted. I didn't anticipate it, but I accept it. What I enjoy about these rallies is that, again, they're there, it feels more like a family. You know, we're not there to make things worse or destroy anything. In terms of like what I usually look for, great signs are always important. In terms of, I could see who is sharing which photo. Dogs are a favorite of mine. I'm always looking for, I have a dog myself, and the internet loves dogs, so when it comes to communicating a message, you know, having a dog is, more people are going to enjoy that. Any kids with their parents that obviously allow the consent of their photo, it kind of reminds you of the innocence I wouldn't say the innocence of this war, but the innocence that is lost because of this war. When I see kids with their parents that are Ukrainian at these rallies, it's like sometimes you have to sit and think like, how are they going to interpret this as they get older? The funny thing, it's like I'm not on the front line with a gun in my hand, which is a much different type of influence over the war. And realizing that like my weapon, corny as it might sound, my weapon is my camera. I kind of fell into this role because I knew I had something to offer, which was my photography, to be able to provide, you know, that sort of communication to people. I mean, there's a number of influences I could talk about. The most obvious one is being half Ukrainian, and this being an experience to allow me to learn about Ukraine from people who live there. Funny enough, Christine and I met at the rally. So she tapped me on the shoulder and basically said like, are you the photographer that's doing those photos? And she's been such a great, you know, not only source of information, but just companion during all this. I will mention too, another influence of mine. My grandfather actually was in World War II. He fought on D-Day at Normandy Beach, on Omaha Beach. My grandfather's not around anymore, but I remember kind of having early conversations with him and getting the idea that war is something that should be avoided. Hear from someone I'm speaking at a rally, oh, I showed my relative in Ukraine and, you know, they started crying or they couldn't believe it, like, please keep up the good work. Those are what motivate me. I'm not sending a tank to Ukraine, but this is something that I know that I'm good at, that I can offer, that hopefully has some sort of positive influence on the war. One thing that I've thought about, the most I could ask for is people to take influence from what I've been doing. You know, I'm not the only person who owns a camera. There's plenty of people out there that could own a camera and do what I do. You know, there's an educational curve, you know, learning how to do it. I would hope that that would maybe be one of my biggest influences too, is knowing that, like, almost anyone could do this. Anyone can make an impact. You just gotta do it. You just gotta go out there and try.